This episode of Wine and Crime is brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies.
Try it at progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.
There's a fire inside you can't ignore. Stand still? Not a chance. You're a lifelong learner who's come this far. Now, we're here to help you keep going further. Capella University. What can't you do? Visit capella.edu to learn more.
Wine and Crime contains graphic and explicit content which may not be suitable for some listeners. Listener discretion is advised.
You are listening to Wine and Crime, the podcast where two friends chug wine, chat true crime, and unleash their worst Minnesotan accent.
Yes, ma'am.
I am delusional because I am getting over a hell of a flu, and I'm Lucy.
This poor girl has been rode hard and put away wet this week. God bless her.
It sucks when your whole household is down for the count.
Well, and in the beginning of February, when January was 17 years long.
Oh my God. And then we went
January.
to Mexico City, which was great, except for your hospital stay.
Yeah, I spent my two and a half free days at the end in the hospital.
Oh my God.
It's fine.
Anyway,
we're fine. I'm Amanda, by the way. Hello.
I found some mini M&Ms.
Yum.
From 1998.
Brian came over last night for a quick sesh on the way home from work and brought us more gummy clusters and a Mike and Ike's tropical fun bag.
Oh my God. That's a real friend.
He's such a candy king. God bless him.
Candy king.
My little candy king.
He does defend you, Mr. Mint.
He does defend you. I'm also super high right now. I'm not drinking wine today, but we'll get to it.
Oh my God.
We'll get to it.
We will get to it. And let's get to it now. We have a very special fan pick from Leah. And Leah has chosen the topic of digital cults.
Girl.
Yeah.
Yo. My case is crazy.
I'm excited to hear it because my research, and it's just because everything feels really, really personal right now.
Yeah, we also both have our periods. And the world is hell, obviously, but we also both have our periods right now.
As of the last couple of hours.
Yeah, she got hers and told me she got hers yesterday, and then I fucking got mine today.
No, I told you I was going to get mine today.
Oh.
It's actually, mine's due any second.
Oh, so I'm going to lead you in.
You're leading me.
Sorry.
You're leading the band this month, honey.
My turn.
That's okay. Anyway, yeah, my segment is, I wouldn't really call it uplifting.
No. It's cults, babe. It's not good.
No, but I like to find interesting, if not uplifting, at least interesting. This is really neither.
I'm right there with you, honey. I'm right there with you.
Well, Amanda, please, for the love of Christ, kick us off with our wine crime pairing for digital cults.
Well, Leah wanted to feature a mocktail, a non-alcoholic situation today. And I love that in her email, she also shouted out Marigold, which is basically an NA bottle shop on 35th and Nicollet here in Minneapolis.
Oh, cute.
And you can get so many amazing little elixirs there and mood boosters and herbaceous, things that taste like an herbaceous liqueur but don't have any alcohol in them that mix really beautifully to make
shrubs.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah.
I love a shrub.
But a shrub maximalized for flavor so that it's and that also incorporate different herbs and mushrooms and things like that to provide energy boosting or slightly mood altering effects. So you can make a cocktail, a mood boosting cocktail with all this cool stuff that they offer at Marigold and not have any alcohol. I like to get stuff from there to make THC beverages, to mix with THC beverages. Super, super, super good. But it's also February. It's, the season of love. So I found this very cute Valentine's Day mocktail from themindfulmocktail.com. And for this, you put together strawberry syrup, rose water, sparkling water, or you could do a non-alcoholic rosé. And then if you're really feeling into it, you can put in a little bit of edible pink glitter.
Oh my gosh.
And then garnish it with strawberry. And this article even gives you a tutorial on how to make a strawberry rose garnish where you cut it fancy. So if you really wanted to go nuts on it, but you take like a Collins glass, a tall glass, and you fill it with ice, and you have like the long spoon and like your jigger measuring cup. To get your quantities. So you'll take 1.5 ounces of the strawberry syrup. You can make it at home or you can get it store-bought, but we've gone over like how to make simple syrups before. You could pretty much add anything to the basis of a simple syrup to infuse it. So you could cook that simple syrup with either frozen, which actually can have like more sugar in them and like brighten the flavor and the color, or cut up fresh strawberries and put it in and then strain out the like chunks when you're done cooking down your simple syrup. So you can make it at home really easily. 1/4 teaspoon of rose water. They also give a tutorial on how to make that if you want to make your own. But again, these are all things you could buy at a liquor store. 1/2 cup of non-alcoholic rosé or soda water, depending on what flavor profile you're going for. And then a strawberry for your garnish. And you can also do a strawberry that you muddle. So you can muddle the strawberry at the bottom, then add your ice, all of your ingredients, a pinch of the pink edible glitter, and then take your tall spoon and stir everything up. And then you have a little bit of that texture of like the muddled strawberry at the bottom floating in it. And the whole thing is like this delicate light pink with all these little bubbles. And then you could garnish it. I would garnish it. Good. I would also maybe add basil to this because rose water with basil and strawberry.
Yes.
That would be magical. And then you could do almost like a skewer garnish where you put like a strawberry and a piece of basil and like a cute little skewer with like a candy heart thing on the end.
Who are you?
And then you've got this. I love to bartend stuff.
That's so cute.
Well, wouldn't that be so cute? So those are like the little changes that I would make. I would add basil.
Yeah.
And I would like do a fun garnish. But yeah, it's really, really easy to make. You could also make it as a pitcher and then just put ice in each individual glass, pour it and garnish. So you can multiply those ingredients by how many individual cocktails you're trying to serve and very easily prep that early.
If you did want to make it boozy,
you could use real rosé. Prosecco, yeah.
Yeah, real rosé.
A really nice Lambrusco would be yummy in there. So many fun opportunities. So that is my recommendation for a little NA beverage. And I think it sounds refreshing and delicious, especially with our slight augmentations. But I personally hit a big fat J before this, and I'm drinking lemon sparkling water, Kirkland brand. What are you sipping? Cough syrup?
I'm recovering from the plague, so I've got ice water and mini M&Ms.
Good for you. I love that for us. An NA day all around.
Yeah.
All right. Should we take a quick break to hear a word from our sponsors before we dive into all the salacious tales?
I think that's a good idea.
All right, let's do it. And if you want to skip all these ads, join us on Uncorked.
I drink a lot of water. I'm typically very well hydrated. And when I don't, if I don't hit my daily quota, I feel it so hard. Like my energy's down. I get crabby. I cannot focus. And that is why staying hydrated is so crucial. And if you just don't like crave water really necessarily, it can be hard to get the proper amount of hydration. And that is why when I'm not just at my huge jug of water all day, every day, I got to supplement using Drip Drop.
Drip Drop is a game changer.
It really is. Because getting enough water, it's not just about being thirsty. It's about keeping my body and my brain running at full power.
You are much better at your daily water intake than I am. And so Drip Drop is like my girl. She's like, hey, babe, you're not drinking enough water, but add me and I will make the water that you are drinking work a lot harder for you. And I'm like, yes, queen, let's go. Because Drip Drop is doctor developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and your mind work better. It uses a precise ratio of electrolytes and glucose for rapid absorption, delivering 3 times the electrolytes and half the sugar of leading sports drinks. And if you're a diabetic girly like me, electrolyte balance is really important. I have learned that the hard way in my youth. So trust me, you want it. You'll feel the results fast. You'll get more focus, better energy, improved mood, even glowing skin, because hydration is literally the key to like unlocking powerful skincare. Drip Drop's science-backed formula is trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro teams because it's engineered to rehydrate you faster and more effectively than water alone. And it actually really tastes amazing. There are 16 original flavors, and I am a big fan of their 8 zero sugar options, and it just fits seamlessly into your routine. Honestly, like, this is a great way to start your morning, give you a little boost, get that morning hydration. If you're a workout girly, this is really great recovery for post-workout. If you experience like the post-coffee midday slump, I'm telling you, reach for the Drip Drop. Do not reach for another cup of the coffee. Reach for the Drip Drop. Get yourself hydrated. It's going to help you get past that midday slump and give you a little bit more of that natural energy. And to make it so easy so you're never running out of your Drip Drop, they offer flexible subscription options, so you're not stuck without your proven fast hydration. Whether you're on the job, you're at the gym, you're just parenting through a heat wave, you're existing as a human being in the world. You gotta stay hydrated. And if you go for the subscription option, you'll always have Drip Drop on hand.
Right now, Drip Drop is offering our podcast listeners 20% off your first order. Go to dripdrop.com and use promo code GALS. That's dripdrop.com, promo code GALS for 20% off. Stock up now before the heat hits hard. Dripdrop.com and use promo code GALS now. I have an announcement.
Oh, okay.
The Fitzgerald household has welcomed a new member.
Oh,
His name is Ocho.
oh my
And
God, I
he's
love him.
another fat orange dum-dum.
Bubba. Yeah.
Bubby. He's so
Oh.
snuggly. I love him so much. He has such a cute little face.
His face is precious.
Really is. So he's been with us for almost a week, and the introduction process has been actually quite good and
Quite calm.
pretty calm. I thought I would need to go get like some, what's it called, Fellaway or whatever to like calm their
the pheromones.
Yeah, the pheromones. But really, they're Ocho and Ray are getting along quite well. And earlier today, I fed Ray his morning Smalls breakfast, and Ocho looked at me and was like, "Can I have some of that?"
Where's my Smalls?
Because he's just been eating the kibble that he had at the shelter,
Transition.
So I gave him his first Smalls today.
Did he love it?
He ate it up.
Ah!
Cats love Smalls, I'm telling
They
you.
sure do. This podcast is indeed sponsored by Smalls. And, some cats will start to reject the kibble. I also have cats that are on kind of a blended diet of they get their dry kibble, but they love their wet food. And
Their
we do
soups.
they love their soups. Bill makes soup for the kitties almost every day. They get at least one wet food a day. And part of that, some people are like, oh my gosh, that spoils your cat. No, it really helps make sure they're getting enough water. And when you're giving them good quality wet food like this, and I'm talking protein-packed recipes made with preservative-free, 100% human-grade ingredients that you could find in your refrigerator delivered right to your door. Hi, couldn't be easier. They puke less, their coats are shinier, they're happier. They're getting hydrated. And one of my favorite things that Smalls offers, they obviously have their wet food that we just keep in the freezer, but they also have these broths. And literally what we were doing before was just getting decent wet food from the store and adding water to it to make sure that they were getting enough water. But now we can literally make them actual soup because we have this amazing broth and then also the wet food from Smalls. It's the best. For a limited time, you can get 60% off your first order plus free shipping when you head to smalls.com/gals. And starting with them is so easy. You just share some information about your cat's diet, their health, their food preferences, and then Smalls puts together a personalized meal plan for your cat. So it's very customized. Like each kitty has different needs. No more picking between random brands and like the option overwhelm at the pet store with like the floor to ceiling shelves full of cat food and you have no idea where to begin. Smalls has the right food to satisfy any cat's cravings and they absolutely go nuts for it. Like my cats, we used to keep the like shelf stable wet food in the cupboard, and then when we'd go to that cupboard they would come running. Now it's like when they hear the freezer door opening, they're coming running to the kitchen. They are ready, baby. Forbes ranked Smalls the best overall cat food, while BuzzFeed said my cats went completely ballistic for this stuff, and I'm telling you, ours did too. After switching to Smalls, 88% of cat owners reported overall health improvements, which is a big deal. And those shiny coats really, really tell you that it's working. And the team at Smalls is so confident that your cat will love their product that you can try it risk-free. That means they will refund you if your cat won't eat it.
So stop guessing which meals will upset their stomach. For a limited time, because you are a Wine and Crime listener, get 60% off your first order plus free shipping when you head to smalls.com/gals. One last time, that's 60% off your first order plus free shipping when you head to smalls.com/gals.
I always thought that creatine was for muscle people who are strong and trying to be incredibly strong and get stronger. I didn't know all of the other benefits of creatine. I didn't realize how essential it can be for like your focus, your cognitive performance, for aging. I had no idea. And then I was like, well, I'm not going to drink like a giant, creatine shake every day. And my gosh, did Momentous not just swoop in?
Read your mind.
Read my mind and make this so easy with their creatine chews that you could so easily just incorporate into your daily routine. What are you talking about?
Couldn't be easier. Like Amanda said, creatine isn't just for building muscle. It has become a daily essential for your strength, focus, recovery, aging, and cognitive performance. And guess what, baby? We're aging faster every day.
Oh, God.
So take the reins. Because now Momentous is making your daily creatine routine even easier with new creatine chews. They're these bite-sized lemon lime chews that make consistency effortless. You just chew them and you go.
Mm-hmm.
It's just popping a little chewy in your mouth. They taste great. They're like citrusy, the lemon limey.
Mm-hmm.
Each chew delivers exactly 1 gram of CreaPure creatine monohydrate, the gold standard, single source from Germany and NSF certified for sport, which means it's independently tested for purity, safety, label accuracy. These things are trusted by Olympic athletes, pro sports teams, and elite military operators and true crime podcasters.
Yeah, we are none of those things, but if it's good enough for them, it's good enough for us, baby.
Momentous spent years testing until they created the first chewable that actually meets the Momentous standard. Uncompromising science, meticulous sourcing, and real transparency. These have no artificial sweeteners, no fillers, just science-backed, clinically proven performance in a portable, craveable format. So whether you're training, working, traveling, podcasting, listening to podcasts, this is performance without pause, made to support your body and your brain every single day. And unlike generic brands, Momentous doesn't follow trends. They perfect the fundamentals. This is creatine done right. And by the way, if you didn't know, creatine is actually even more essential for women who naturally store 70 to 80% less creatine than men, which means consistent supplementation can have an even greater impact on your energy, recovery, and focus.
Right now, Momentous is offering our listeners up to 35% off your first order with promo code GALS. Go to livemomentous.com and use promo code GALS for up to 35% off your first order. That's livemomentous.com, promo code GALS. So it's kind of that like post-holiday, what year is it? Weird time. What is my routine?
When am I?
When am I? Where am I? I have to feed myself. What's going on? And like
Everyone has the flu.
Everyone has the flu. Everything is nuts. And somehow you still have to like make dinner.
Oh, God.
Or lunch. Or God forbid breakfast. It's a lot to wrap your head around, and ButcherBox really helps you stay on track with premium protein delivered when you need it, so your meals feel intentional, nourishing, and most importantly, not stressful.
Oh, it's so nice not to be stressful. ButcherBox delivers over 100 premium protein options straight to your door, including 100% grass-fed beef, free-range organic chicken, crate-free pork, and wild-caught seafood. My God, the seafood. For over a decade, ButcherBox has led the industry with meat and seafood that's antibiotic-free, hormone-free, and independently verified. It's the clean, trustworthy protein you want to be eating, especially at the start of a new year. Their options they know no bounds. They have so many options that you can choose from. And every product meets the same rigorous standards, whether you're cooking a filet mignon or popping chicken nuggets into the air fryer. Like we say, don't sleep on their chicken nuggets. They're so good.
They're so good.
It is all quality, baby, across the board. And whether you're meal prepping for a strong start to the year, feeding a family with picky preferences, or just trying to keep weeknights simple with that air fryer. Yeah, hi, it's me. ButcherBox offers fully customizable plans that fit your routine, your goals, and your schedule. I love knowing that I can like plan a dinner and make it super duper simple. Pull, some chicken thighs out of the freezer in the afternoon, make sure they're ready for dinner. And just even like knowing that it's in there, popping it out, maybe sticking it in the sink to thaw out, that makes me feel like I'm already starting dinner.
Oh,
It makes me feel very productive and also like, hey, I'm doing something good and healthy for myself and my family.
Bill slow cooked some ButcherBox chicken in the crock pot and made like pulled barbecue chicken. And then I used some of the leftovers from that last night on grilled cheeses that I made in the air fryer.
Stop. That sounds so good.
Girl, it was awesome. And I was like, oh, ButcherBox fed us for like multiple meals. And we just opened the freezer and it was like, oh, we could put this together. Okay.
I love it. Just makes you feel more organized and like you're just doing something good and with like responsible practices. As a certified B Corp, ButcherBox is committed to doing things right, from how the animals are raised to how their team supports workers and reduces environmental impact. So you can feel good about this up and down stream. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Plus, every box ships free always, and members get access to recipe inspo, tips, and exclusive deals that make every meal easier, healthier, and more enjoyable.
I do love when you like take, you go out of your comfort zone with a meat or a protein that you've chosen through ButcherBox, and they do send you those like recipe ideas. So it's like, you're not just on an island by yourself. If you want to learn how to cook those pork ribs, baby, they'll show you.
Yeah.
They'll show you how to do it.
Yeah,
and as
they're there for you.
They're there for you. And as an exclusive offer, new listeners can get their choice between organic ground beef, chicken breast, or ground turkey in every box for a year, plus $20 off when you go to butcherbox.com/gals. That's right. Your choice of organic ground beef, chicken breast, or ground turkey in every box for a year, plus $20 off your first box and free shipping always. That's butcherbox.com/gals. Don't forget to use our link so they'll know we sent you. Okay, Lucy, hit us with it. What do you got for us for digital cults?
Okay, so we've talked about cults before, like many a time.
Yes.
We know that cults are social groups which have unusual and often extreme religious, spiritual, or philosophical beliefs and rituals. Another off-ascribed feature of cults is an extreme devotion to a particular person, object, or goal, which is why so many people refer to MAGA as a cult. We'll kind of get back to this. The word cult has become pejorative. It didn't originally mean what it means today. And that was largely since the anti-cult movement of the 1970s kind of started in the 70s, which basically it was a religious, I think it was a religious movement, which is basically saying, hey, cults, you have strayed too far from orthodoxy. Like, you're going out, like, you're
making your own thing out of this, and it's not in alignment with our actual practices here.
You're getting a little bit far from the plot here.
Reel it in.
A word that I didn't already know. That sounded really arrogant. A word that I didn't know before I had to Google it was heterodoxy.
I don't know what that is.
So it's like the opposite of orthodoxy. So heterodoxy, hetero, means different. Heterodoxy is a deviation from accepted or orthodox standards or beliefs.
Okay.
So
I'm really high right now.
The anti-cult, you might have your gourd blown by my segment.
I'm
possibly.
scared. I'm starting to panic.
I'm not very confident that will happen. Okay. The anti-cult movement was accusing cults of basically brainwashing, saying all cults are bad. You've strayed too far. You're abnormal. You're weird. You're bad. You shouldn't be here. But before that, and at the heart of the definition of the word cult, it just means participating in religious rites. The word cult is derived from the Latin term cultus, which means worship. But as sociological classifications of religious movements developed in the 19th and 20th centuries, they further defined cult as having socially deviant or novel, which is a nice way of saying it, beliefs and practices. So just weird. Even with the more narrow definition that we use today, I don't think it's unreasonable to think that there is such a thing as benign cults. They're just like, okay, they're weird. Go let them hunt mushrooms in Alaska.
Yeah.
Or whatever they're doing. If everyone's consenting and nothing fishy's going on and you're not abusing children and things like that, you're just the definition of cult is so loose, especially now, that it doesn't really mean, it doesn't really
what it once did.
Anything. Not anymore, for sure. Yeah. So there are three main types of cults. We have destructive cults, which are unethical, deceptive, and ones that use strong influence or mind control techniques to affect critical thinking skills. There is someone named Eli Shapiro who defines a destructive cultism as a sociopathic syndrome whose distinctive qualities include behavioral and personality changes, loss of personal identity, cessation of scholastic activities, estrangement from family, disinterest in society, and pronounced mental control and enslavement by cult leaders. The term destructive cult has been criticized by scholars because it sort of gives outsiders permission to, first of all, overuse the label and equate these more whatever live and let live benign sects with the sorts of cults that carry out mass suicides.
Right.
So destructive, I think we could find a better way of separating the not so great ones from the just leave them alone ones.
They're just weirdos on a compound fucking each other. They're not hurting anybody kind of cults.
Yeah. Let them be. Second type is doomsday cults. They believe in apocalypticism. So meaning that the end of the world is imminent.
And the only way to survive it or ascend beyond it is to be part of this movement.
Well, yeah.
Follow these instructions.
Yeah. In terms of a cult, yeah. And then also millenarianism, which is they believe that a fundamental transformation is coming. So like the rapture, for example.
I have to lean back because I'm so high that I'm feeling disconnected from my body.
Oh, lean back.
So.
Do you wish you had some mini M&Ms?
Can't tell you how much I wish that. Can't possibly express. Green love.
Just imagine this going into your mouth.
That's not helpful. Thanks, though.
I'll put it in my mouth.
Yeah, you eat it.
Okay. And the doomsday can also be used to refer both to groups that predict disaster and groups that admit to bring it about because, a failed prophecy is bad optics.
Mm-hmm.
So there are times when a prophecy is made and then it is carried out. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Then we have political cults. So this has a primary interest in political action and ideology, mostly advocating far left or far right agendas. So my first thought was like eco-terrorism.
Mm-hmm.
That's far left. I wouldn't call it a cult on its own. You know what I mean? This is all shit we've talked about before.
Yeah.
So our fan picker, Leah, in their email said that it's interesting to consider that what we think about cults like Jonestown, like People's Temple, or like the Order of the Solar Temple, like
Waco.
Yeah, like things like that wouldn't be possible today because of the internet and because of all of this mass sharing of ideas and knowledge. But ironically, I think, and we'll get to it, but it's sort of like that obliterates everything into a cult.
Mm-hmm.
Because those before the internet, and let's be real, like the internet is the thing that has changed everything.
Yeah.
Before that, they relied on in-person interactions with these charismatic leaders.
Mm-hmm.
They relied on a centralized location and like face-to-face interactions with each other because that's how they held their power or, created and reinforced their community. And then you can also use those interactions as like punishment against each other too,
Mm-hmm.
And that's not the same as what they are today because sort of going back to the MAGA thing. First of all, saying MAGA's a cult is so overused because it's so not a stretch at all. Yeah, it can easily fit into the definition of a cult. But the whole reason why MAGA, a big reason how MAGA even came about is because they're just like isolated people who are angry with the world, who can't afford anything because they can't get a good job because of the education and the student loans and the debt and this is America and that kind of stuff. But it really heavily relies on people that don't have community and that feel angry and isolated. So it's just it's a new breed of cult now because of how isolated and decentralized everything is.
Yeah.
So you sent me this link. There is a thing called cyber sectarianism.
Mm-hmm.
So this is a new religious or spiritual movements that use the internet for text distribution, recruitment, and information sharing, which sounds like it would be a pretty good blanket term for what we're talking about, but it's weirdly more specific than it seems.
Mm-hmm.
Or at least it is according to this Wikipedia article. And I started thinking I was going crazy doing this research. And again, I'll kind of get to it. Here's a more full explanation by the person who coined the term, who is political scientist Patricia M. Thornton at University of Oxford. Cyber sectarianism as an organizational form involves highly dispersed small groups of practitioners that may remain largely anonymous within the larger social context and operate in relative secrecy, which I thought was a weird way to put it, while still linked remotely to a larger network of believers who share a set of practices and texts and often a common devotion to a particular leader.
This is exactly what my digital cult case is.
It goes on.
What you just explained. Like, even just the fact that, like, the relatively anonymous or, like, relatively small, like, what they did and how many people they reached was massive, but the people that were actually, like, in the cult was pretty small. It's really weird and crazy.
Okay, this is where, and again, with the news cycle and my absolute mental fracturing as of late, everything feels personal. But this next part was like, what? Overseas supporters provide funding and support. Domestic practitioners distribute tracts, as in like literature, participate in acts of resistance, and share information on the internal situation with outsiders. Collectively, members and practitioners of such sects construct viable virtual communities of faith, exchanging personal testimonies and engaging in collective study via email, online chat rooms, and web-based message boards. So don't you think that kind of makes it sound like so much more clandestine. The overseas supporters providing funding and support, that makes it sound like they're investors and not members of this cyber sect. You do know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
There's just certain words in this that make it sound like, what? Okay, so then
they're finding ways via the internet to make money that isn't just a direct result of their cult members like handing over all of their possessions. It's like they're also making money in these other ways.
I mean, I guess, but here's the weird part about and this is from just the Wikipedia article. You'd think that it would be very robust about this because you would think that this would encompass like a lot of cults, given that really small definition I read at the beginning. But the Wikipedia article mainly links it to various Chinese like meditation practices that seem relatively harmless. So they have Qigong, which is like this meditation, movement, breathing. It just looks like it's just like a daily, it's a wellness practice. And then they mention Falun Gong, which is maybe not as, that's more culty.
Yep.
But other new Chinese, quote, new religious movements that again seem mostly meditation focused. But then it kind of goes off in a weird hard left again. It says cybersect participants rely upon computer-mediated communication, or CMC, which is basically just like communicating on the internet. But
they don't have like a brick and mortar, like a compound.
Correct.
So their compound is like their Facebook group or their Reddit board or 4chan board or whatever. So like they exist only in that physical space, quote unquote, of the internet.
Oh, I know. But they have an acronym for it as CMC, and that's used like all across these sources, which I thought was, you mean posting on the internet? Yes, CMC, computer mediated communication. Nerd. In their personal religious or spiritual practice, performing cyber pilgrimages, participating in cyber meditation sessions online, and or cyber evangelism in third-party chat rooms. They'll go into other chat rooms and be like, have you guys heard about this? Some cybersect members of groups, including Al-Qaeda, engage in, quote, repertoires of electronic contention, using websites and email to mobilize participants for protest and contention, as well as hacktivism and even cyber terrorism.
Yeah.
It also says Sunni and Shia affiliated hackers have attacked and counterattacked hundreds of websites in a vast struggle over cyberspace that has been characterized as an outbreak of cyber sectarianism. So within this so-called Muslim cyberspace, there are both online like publications, lectures, awareness, like advocacy in the more traditional sense, and then also cyber attacks against other religious or non-religious websites. So it's like offensive and defensive at the same time. So this, and also it briefly mentions like the Protestants versus Catholics in Northern Ireland sort of doing something similar. It's interesting that this Wikipedia article for cyber sectarianism relates only to some like Chinese internal meditation adjacent examples. And like maybe that is a big enough example because China is the government so tightly controls everything that their threshold for like, is it a religion or is it a sect and a cult? Like their tolerance for that is much smaller, that anything going against the norm is automatically a cult and dangerous, like anything. There's an interesting picture that I have on the drive of just basically like a show. They have a little bulldozer running over a bunch of Falun Gong books.
Oh, Jesus.
It's just for the photo op.
Yeah.
There's like 8 people standing around. They just got a big steamroller running over some books. Someone's going to have to sweep that up later and throw it in the regular garbage.
That's crazy.
Yeah, but just stuff like that. And then there's a picture of an old guy doing Qigong.
It's like Tai Chi.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, you're just
meditative
you're flowing
movement
around.
practice.
You're moving around.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I also have this interesting graph. Okay, so there was a guy named Howard Becker. He had basically like a spectrum that went from the church, which was more equilibrium.
Yep.
And then within that, you have a denomination, which is just more specific. Not everyone fits in. And then beyond that, you have the sect.
Okay.
And that's more of the protesting side. So the church comes out and is prominent when things are at an equilibrium and things are good. And the cults and the sects come out when they're trying to protest something in the mainstream. These things pop up when there is like a social upheaval.
Got it.
So that's kind of where his spectrum sort of was. And that's kind of what I was saying, like in China, that continuum would pretty much not exist. If you stepped out of line and you had weird ideas.
Shut it down quick.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You don't live here anymore. Oh, they also had a part again in China. There's a province in northwest China that has a lot of, it's a very heavy Uyghur communities up there, and they're Muslim. So there are Muslims in China who I think maybe aren't necessarily Uyghurs, but they're being referred to as cyber separatists. So there's all these different things that they just throw cyber onto the front of because everything fucking happens online now.
Yeah.
A cyber separatist, a cyber evangelical, going on a cyber pilgrimage. Like, this is fucking crazy.
Yeah, it's wild.
But it also does recognize that, like, by the very nature of this all being CMC'd, computer-mediated communication, that may on its own present serious challenges to the maintenance of internal coherence and policing of orthodoxy by a central core of leaders. So, like, it's just so fucking slippery now.
Yeah.
I guess that's my whole point. Oh, that same article argued or cited an argument that Heaven's Gate was maybe the first cyber sect because they did use message boards.
Their infamous website.
Still on today.
Yeah. God, Heaven's Gate is my favorite cult.
Their mass suicide was in 97.
Yeah. Early internet.
As you can imagine, their website is beautiful.
It's like an Angel Fire website. It's incredible.
It was high tech for 97.
Big time.
Okay, so here's where I get to sort of vent a little bit of my frustrations from all my notes. I really was trying to search cults in the digital age, evolution of cults, things like that, which you would think would have a ton of hits because clearly you just using your brain, you understand how things have changed, how cults develop and practice now that no one leaves their house. And there were so many like op-eds or self-published or like from a pro-Mormon website. Like I was having serious issues finding reliable sources that weren't from 1967.
You and me both, kid. I actually mentioned that at the top of my notes that like
it's odd.
Piecing together this story was a challenge because there was like one Medium article about it. One article from AV
Behind
Club.
a paywall.
Yeah, exactly. And then I watched a bunch of YouTube videos about it and like read some forums. And then, yeah, there wasn't like mainstream media about the specific online cult that I'm going to talk about.
What? And that was surprising to you too?
Yeah, very. I was like, how's everyone not talking about this? Like, this is nuts.
So my personal takeaway, I'm getting the impression that what we classify as a cult is getting really, really diluted and fragmented and like becoming part of the mainstream. And so I did find an article from 2024 from Vox, which is why I signed up for a Vox account on our email. The title is "Everything's a Cult Now." Okay, so the article says, "Is damn near everything a cult now? That's a glib distillation of an interesting idea I recently encountered. The basic thesis was that the internet has shattered the possibility of a monoculture and that the result is that of a highly fragmented society that feels increasingly like a loose connection of cults stacked on top of each other." To say that everything is a cult is a bit of an overstatement, but as a general framework for understanding the world at the moment, it is helpful. The way we consume content, the way fandom works, the ways we sort ourselves into tribes and camps online, even the way lots of industries work, including the news business. And that was something I saw come up again and again, was like, well, again and again in the 4 articles I could read.
Right.
Specifically the media. Because that's the distillation. That's how we think we know what's happening with the world.
Right.
It all has shades of culthood. This is easier to see if you set aside the more extreme examples of cults like the ones that end in mass suicide or shootouts with the ATF, and instead think of cults as movements or institutions that organize themselves around the belief that the mainstream is fundamentally broken. Because, as I mentioned before, that is like how they crop up. They start somewhere that's this bigger pile, and then they're like, no, there's something fishy with this bigger pile. We're going to go into a smaller pile, and then smaller and smaller and smaller. And then you're the weird ones. So the article goes on to be an interview with Derek Thompson, who's the host of Plain English podcast.
Oh, okay.
I think he's a writer for The Atlantic as well. So I think the author of the article sort of starts by saying, like, is everything a cult now? Like, how did we get here? So Derek's answer is, so you can start with the late 19th century, when the concept of a national reality was first possible, at least in America. You had technologies like the telephone and the telegraph that allowed newspapers to share information and report on information that truly was national. It allowed information to travel much faster than it had ever traveled before. And so suddenly in the late 19th century, we had the possibility of a national and even international real-time shared reality. And that shared reality might have come to its fullest expression in the middle of the 20th century with the rise of television technology. You had just a handful of channels that were reaching tens of millions of people. At the same time, you also had the rise of national newspapers and maybe the apogee of national newspapers in terms of their ability to monopolize local advertising revenue and become enormous machines for getting tens of millions of Americans to read about a shared reality.
Dude, it's mind control.
Yeah, but yes. Yes,
Girl,
but
I know I've been crashing out about the Epstein files, and now I'm just like a full-blown conspiracy theorist because the more of these friggin' Epstein files I read, the more I'm like, oh my god, that we cast off as the ramblings of a lunatic is true.
Yeah.
And now my mind is just breaking into a million pieces.
Yeah.
So yeah, they're mind controlling us with TV and the internet and the news. Of course they are. Complacency. Allow the machine to keep rolling over us.
We're not talking about propaganda right now. We're talking about the monoculture, whether it's right or wrong. And I'll also share with you something that I didn't put in my notes that he said later in his interview that will make you feel better about it. So this is the first time and really the only shortish period of time, at least in the West, specifically in what we're talking about in the United States, where our whole country had a shared reality. We all saw the moonwalk, the Kennedy stuff, like, the protests, Vietnam, stuff like that. You couldn't avoid it. It was all one shared reality, and that was the first time in our culture that was the case. And that's wild.
Yeah.
So you move from the 19th century with the birth of this possibility of a shared reality to the 20th century where you really have the rise of a kind of monoculture, which was never really possible for the vast majority of human history. What I'm interested in is the possibility that the internet has forever shattered that reality and that we are in a way going back to the pre-20th century where the culture is actually just a bunch of cults stacked on top of each other, a bunch of mini local realities stacked on top of each other.
That's a lot.
Well, he also says, like, that said, I'll never understand people who refer to, like, the 1950s as the glory days, because what do you mean we had a monoculture that saw the Jim Crow era bullshit and saw the civil rights movement and saw all of these things, and it didn't get fixed any faster. So really, what was the benefit of that? Yes, it was exciting and it moved us further in a certain direction, but like, do we want that again? Was the monoculture that great? Did it really benefit us that much?
Good question.
So another thing to think about.
Yeah.
So here's where I went a little bit off. Cults are organized around the belief that something in the mainstream is broken. So if we're all on that page.
Right. I was thinking that at the top when you first said that. I was like, who among us does not, whether you're on one extreme or the other, or even now anywhere in between, everybody's feeling like some shit's fucking broken.
So if we're all on that page, where does that get us? Our institutions are crumbling day by day. Media is being fragmented beyond recognition. Aren't we all paranoid? Aren't we all in high-risk social scenarios? Don't we all feel nauseated at mass culture right now? And I wrote, yes, I'm depressed. If we are moving away from a monoculture, does that mean we are moving back toward tribalism? And what lessons have we learned from both tribalism and the monoculture in the past? And if we are moving back, we have to remember those things and build off of them and do it better this time. So yeah, I might have lost track of the whole cult thing, but I mean, I do think that he's right about cult. It's just being stacks of cults on top of our whole culture is cults. It's just a big pile of them, and you know, your algorithm determines what cults you're in.
And also like the problematic result of everything being considered a cult then deteriorates, like you said, weakens the word cult, and then it can just be thrown around at anything, which is like part of the problem in my case, which we're about to get to, because there's so much like community building and good work that does happen online predominantly. Think about like mutual aid and anti-racism education and like all of these things that we can connect about and have access to, that then people who oppose those kinds of movements can go, oh, that's a cult. And then discredit and devalue the good work and the good organizing that is happening, like the good community building that is happening online, by calling it a cult. And then that puts, you know, the leaders of those education groups, which are typically Black women, like predominantly Black women, but then that puts them at risk of being labeled a cult leader when they're just essentially teaching Black history and anti-racism education.
Yeah, and those kinds of accusations exist in all sorts of different pockets of everywhere. Yeah, it's just
it's like you said, it's so slippery. It gets so slippery.
It's so slippery, and like these are special days we're going through, and yeah, why not be in a cult?
Seriously, can't blame you.
There's a problem with the mainstream, y'all. Let's all get in our own little cults.
I'm in.
My God. They're not necessarily bad. Start a good cult.
Great. We'll get on that. The wine coven's on it.
Yeah. I can't put anything else on my plate right now. I'll join your cult, though.
Great.
Send me the invite.
I'll make a Canva graphic to invite everybody to the cult.
An evite.
All right. Let's take a quick break to hear another word from our sponsors and then come back to get to my case.
Okay.
We have been Honey Love users, lovers, proselytizers for many moons now. And I'm going to be real with you. When we first started working with Honey Love, I was like, okay, it's another like bra and shapewear brand. I'm excited to check them out. I didn't have like the highest expectations. I've got heavy, big old boobs. I have a beautifully and interestingly shaped body. I was like, I don't know if this is really going to work for me. But I went into it with an open mind, and I cannot tell you, I know immediately, even just like reaching into my underwear drawer by touch, That's my honey. That's like one of my Honey Love bras.
Yep.
And I will always find it. I will always prioritize it. That girl's getting washed first. Like, she has seen it, lived it, been through it with me, and I will never go back. I love my Honey Love bras.
So do I. And dare I say, I love my Honey Love shapewear too.
Yeah.
Never thought I could feel that kind of emotion towards shapewear, but it's actually quite comfortable, and it makes you look like your lovely, curvaceous, beautiful self. Honey Love also recently launched their new crossover contour bra, which features their best-selling wireless crossover bra design, plus built-in molded light foam pads for a little extra support and a beautifully contoured shape.
It's my new favorite bra.
The crossover, incredible. I'm
so
also here for their Cloud Embrace bra.
Yup.
This is a modern wireless t-shirt bra with sturdy, lightly padded foam cups that feel like a cloud against your skin. So it's a wireless bra because, hi, it's 2026. But it's for people who do love underwire. There's something to be said about underwire.
Yeah,
yes.
the support. You want the support of an underwire without the agony of an underwire. This t-shirt bra is your girl. Like, I'm telling you, bury me in this t-shirt bra. I would enter eternity wearing this bra.
Yeah, so they've got the support and the wire-free thanks to their bonding technology that lifts without underwire because, like Amanda, you also deserve a bra that's lightweight and comfortable without sacrificing the support, the separation, the technology that makes it look like you have two distinct breasts.
Yes, thank God. No more uniboob.
No, and a great bra is the foundation for any great outfit, so start every outfit with Honey Love and just elevate your style and feel very comfortable doing it.
So treat yourself to the most advanced bras and shapewear on the market. Use our exclusive link to save 20% off Honey Love at honeylove.com/gals. That's honeylove.com/gals. After you check out, they'll ask where you heard about them. Please support our show and tell them we sent ya. Experience the new standard in comfort and support with Honey Love.
Finding a therapist is truly difficult enough, but finding one who actually takes your insurance?
Oh, girl.
That's where most online therapy platforms fall short. Many don't work with insurance at all, which means you're stuck paying the full cost out of pocket or paying for an expensive monthly subscription. And even thinking about that makes my blood pressure spike and increases my need for a therapist in the first place.
Yeah.
But Rula does things differently. They partner with over 100 insurance plans, making the average copay just $15 a session. Like, we can do that.
We can do that.
That's real therapy from licensed professionals at a price that actually makes sense. So think about it. You use your insurance benefits to maintain your physical health. So why wouldn't you do the same for your mental health?
They are equally important. They really are. And if you aren't sold on Rula just by their affordability alone, I'm telling you, the experience is so tailored. It's like true wraparound support that fits your needs. Other online therapy platforms might match you with the first available provider, which is great, but if they're not the right fit, then what is the point? Rula considers your goals, your preferences, your background, and takes all of those things into account to provide you a curated list of licensed in-network therapists who are actually aligned with what you need. Because we are all beautiful little snowflakes. We all have different shapes and sizes and needs. So they know that finding the right therapist is essential. It makes all the difference. Getting connected with a therapist quickly is also really important. And Rula knows that. There's no wait list. There's no frustrating back and forth. Rula really makes it easy to find a mental health provider who is accepting new patients. Oh my gosh, that's huge. And you can get appointments that are available as soon as tomorrow, which is literally life-saving for folks who are in crisis. Plus, Rula sticks with you throughout your journey. They're checking in to make sure your care is helping you move forward. Like I said, that wraparound support, that kind of in-your-pocket accountability buddy to make sure you're staying on the path and you're continuing to do that essential work of improving your mental health. So I'm just going to tell you, go to rula.com/gals and get started today. That's RULA.com/gals for quality therapy that is covered by insurance.
Thousands of people are already using Rula to get affordable, high-quality therapy that's actually covered by insurance. Visit Rula.com/gals to get started. After you sign up, you'll be asked how you heard about them. Please support our show and let them know we sent ya. That's RULA.com/gals. You deserve mental health care that works with you, not against your budget.
This episode of Wine and Crime is brought to you by Progressive Insurance.
Do you ever think about switching insurance companies to see if you could save some cash? Progressive makes it easy to see if you could save when you bundle your home and auto policies.
Try it at progressive.com.
Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Potential savings will vary, not available in all states.
It's Shelley Rome. Late at night, I think a lot about how the mind actually works. That's why I use the Waking Up app created by Sam Harris. It blends meditation with real science and ideas that help you see your mind differently. If you want a smarter, calmer reset, explore Waking Up for 30 days free with my link, wakingup.com/Rome.
I'm so high I can barely read, and this is a little convoluted. So just try to stick with me here and
We're killing it.
try not to ask
today.
too many complicated questions, because here we go. Picture this. You're an
Okay.
aspiring musician, entering college, pursuing a music degree. You're like 17, 18 years old. You're playing shows. You're finally finding your audience.
Oh my God, this sounds exhausting. Could you imagine being 18?
No,
There's so much to do.
it's too much to do. Now imagine that just a few years later, you are living in a car and
Okay.
selling your body to fund the lifestyle of a general in an intergalactic army.
Yeah. I can put myself in these shoes.
I hope you don't have to. So for those who are familiar with this, you are correct. We're diving into Day Life Army today. And if you are like me and you had not heard of this, you are not alone. Kind of like Lucy and I already said, there's like Reddit threads and YouTube videos and podcasts about this,
Mhm.
but articles in mainstream news, not so much. So I'm going to do my best with the information that I found to walk us through the origins and evolution of an internet-based cult that grew from a Facebook meme group
As they all do.
into a predatory organization. No, Twilight sewer posting would fucking never. Ever. Ratties for life.
What are you talking about? I don't want to know.
You don't. And if you're not in the in group, you can't know.
Okay, that's all
So,
right.
but there's going to be a lot of ratties in the comments. I promise you that.
Hi, ratties.
So our story begins with two individuals. First is Eben Carlson. He was born in Seattle in 1967 and had his own dreams of fame and making it in the music industry himself.
Do you trust in Eben?
No, I don't.
Okay.
Especially not after meeting this one.
Okay.
He tried to make it as a DJ, an author, and a graphic designer, but failed at all of the above and blamed those failures on anything but himself, which sounds
Yeah.
like a few exes of mine.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Yeah, you're right. Eben's suck.
Yeah. Hashtag yes, all Ebens.
Ebens make bad boyfriends.
So he started looking for connections on the internet and started to go by the name Wise L. He connected with a woman named Kimberly Laura Malone, known as Koa. She was pretty well connected to the music scene of LA. Yeah,
Can we address the capitalizations?
these are their names. They're
Wiz
Wise L. and
WIZ dash capital E capital L.
Mm-hmm.
And then Koa is capital K lowercase o capital A.
Yep.
Like MOA.
Kinda, yeah.
I'm just wondering. Okay. These
They're-
were just his.
they're
these
like
were,
screen
this was
names.
the screen name.
Yep. But then that became the names that they used as cult leaders.
Okay.
So he connects with a woman named Kimberly Laura Malone, known as Koa. She was pretty well connected to the music scene in Los Angeles, with one brother working as a successful DJ and another brother in the popular indie band TV on the Radio.
Oh.
So when Eben meets Kimberly, he's like, "Oh, she's like connected in the industry. I'm gonna form a relationship with her to further my career."
Yeah.
Little did we know their combined career would become cult leaders, but that's where this is going.
Got it.
She had studied acting in college. Kimberly, she had worked in the service industry. She'd worked at a couple of bars and mostly hopped between careers before becoming a self-proclaimed sex coach. I think she had been like a sex therapist at some point or had gotten some education in sex therapy, but she was a sex coach and a, quote, goddess of love.
Self-proclaimed sex coach. I feel like that needs to be part of the title.
Yeah. The two felt connected instantly, sharing similar feelings of societal failure and outside forces keeping them from achieving their destined greatness. Unhappy with their realities, they joined forces to create their own
reality.
Around 2014, like early 2014, they created a Facebook group called Tumple, Tumple.
Tumple.
Which started as a weird section of Facebook where people just shared mystical rituals and like goofy witchy stuff kind of, but then it quickly became a tool for recruitment. There were also like, it was like a meme generator in there too. They targeted aspiring artists and musicians, offering branding and marketing help while simultaneously promoting anti-racist education and sobriety, things that are completely valid to connect with community over, especially in online spaces, but were then being manipulated to target vulnerable people online, and cleverly made it seem even more innocuous by using their own like language of silly internet speak that they dubbed Unglish.
Okay.
Yes. So Unglish is an English-based language that replaced random vowels with U's or Y's to, quote, subvert the Western written traditions they associated with whiteness. So it is worth pointing out here that Eben is a white man, an older, not old, but like an older white man, and Kimberly is a younger Black woman.
Okay.
So Eben, however, seemed to hold a lot of the power, at least of like promotion within the group, which in A Shock to No One seemed accessible only by white members, and members of color often criticized the group for prioritizing whiteness and not being truly anti-racist. That was just like a way they were getting people into the group, but they weren't actually like teaching anti-racism education or even engaging in anti-racist practices in their own self-proclaimed anti-racist group.
Okay.
Once recruits were in, indoctrination began. They used a specific set of, quote, standards to control every aspect of life. So members would be expected to only wear white or light-colored clothing, which could not be vintage or secondhand, and fabrics could not contain wool or leather.
My God.
I'm already out.
Yeah.
I love thrifting. People had to remove all analog materials and go digital. So like basically be online 24/7 and not have any books or like printed materials, you know, in your possession.
Oh my God. Ugh.
Follow Uber cleaning and hygiene habits and only use unscented products, and there's no bleach allowed. So you had to be like extremely clean, but with these specific products. No bleach.
But an all white wardrobe. Got it.
Communicate with each other in Unglish. Sobriety is expected, but weed is allowed. You can't have pets. They also isolate you from your friends and family.
Yes.
You're expected to consume basically only a raw diet, like no additives of anything.
Wow.
It's a very high control set of expectations. And it was like, if you meet these criteria, then you can be like ranked up in the hierarchy on Tumple.
Tumple.
One of their most bizarre rituals was called White Stone, which involved men participating in mutual masturbation into a cup while visualizing what you wanted in life and then consuming the contents of the cup.
Wow. As she takes a sip of her bubble water. Oh, no.
It's bad. And I mean, also, there was absolutely sexual abuse in this situation, and we're going to get to it pretty soon. But yeah. Folks kept joining this like Facebook group because they thought it was a joke meme group, and the contents that they discovered within seemed to confirm that, because everyone's like, how could this be real?
Oh, my God.
But then, like the rhetoric within the group ramps up and the group evolves, and the leaders are identifying some of the most vulnerable participants, both within the group and also via their own recruitment in other spaces like Twitter, where Eben would target like young musicians and aspiring artists. And they'd be like, oh, I have all these connections. If you come join with me, like I can advance your career in the music industry. And people are like, hell yeah. Like, I would love to connect with these like well-connected people. So yeah, then the group starts making like these weird turns and takes on a more divine purpose and starts talking about like who is even above Koa and Wiesel in the hierarchy, that like they're the leaders here on Earth, but they serve the G-Fed, which is the Galactic Federation, an alien government.
Yes. Well, yeah.
Kimberly claimed she was a, quote, Pleiadian light form who could divine truth with a pendulum and possess all of humanity's souls, which members could conveniently buy their souls back for a price if you didn't want them to have your soul anymore. Kimberly would sell it back to you. I couldn't find the exact numbers, but she charged all kinds of crazy shit. Probably several hundreds of dollars.
For everyone. What if your soul was like $25?
Well, what do the Catholics pay? Isn't that part of like tithing and shit?
Yeah, it's supposed to be 10% of your income or something.
Yeah. So, a lot of money.
Yeah, I guess.
They taught that society was a pain matrix of exploitation, and they were the pleasure soldiers of the pleasure matrix, where one must put wants above needs.
Ah, that's the way to do it.
So it's basically like,
do they allow kids in this group?
I don't think so. But okay. I mean, they were recruiting people that were young. We're about to get to like their first recruit who was 18, but that's still a kid in my opinion.
Yeah.
So basically all the things that you were talking about where it's like, here are these vulnerable people who are struggling and don't really understand why they're struggling and want to have something to blame it on. And then this group shows up and goes, yeah, like everything that you have ever struggled with is part of this pain matrix that society is like, it's ruining the world. Yeah. And we can save
it is fucked up. It's not just you.
And we can save the world as the pleasure soldiers who follow this way of life. And then we can access the pleasure matrix and all of that pain goes away. Every struggle, like everything your heart desires can become yours, basically. So that seems pretty enticing to a young and impressionable and vulnerable person. And unfortunately, and me. And unfortunately, like the human cost of this kind of cult is devastating. So this is the story of Matthew, who chose not to disclose his last name to the public. He was the Day Army or Daylight Army, we'll get to that, cult's first official member. He joined at the end of 2013. He was 18 when he was recruited. He was bombarded with flattery, constructive criticism, and the promise of success in his aspiring music career. And like he was in college when they recruited him. Like he was going to school to be a musician and they recruited him and he kind of abandoned everything because he saw them, these leaders, as his like personal mentors. And that's kind of what they pitched to him. And then they like were flattering this young kid and they invited him to this like new penthouse that they had gotten in Chicago for their first in-person meeting. And this was a property that, of course, they had gotten a lease on using donations from their growing Facebook group. And this is what they were spending the money on. And Matthew was like a little unnerved when he first got there because it's like this gorgeous, lavish, high ceiling penthouse in Chicago, but there's like no furniture in it. And they just explained that away being like, oh, we just moved in and, you know, we haven't like furnished the place yet. And Matthew was like, oh, okay. And trusted them. Like they were very good at, you know, showing him this like exciting, oh yeah, look, like if you stick with us, we just got this penthouse. Like, you know, it's not weird that we're in this empty penthouse. We just got it. We're just moving in. And he was like, oh my gosh, like they're really doing it. Like maybe I could do it too. So they did not have this penthouse for long because it was too expensive and they spent through the money like crazy. If you could just only imagine.
I could have guessed. Yeah.
But over time, Matthew gave up all of his possessions and worked essentially for them directly without pay while being charged $480 a month for specialist training for the Day Life Army.
What's Day Life?
Day Life is they basically shifted from, we're about to get to it. They shifted from Temple because it's like Girl Temple to Day Life Army.
Sounds like a Teletubby.
Yeah. So the cult gained about 50 paying members via Facebook before launching a separate Temple website that had a monthly subscription service providing access to private groups and classes. This evolved into a 7-tiered pay-to-access system. It's basically Patreon, but like for an insidious purpose, where the higher the tier...
I just got so many ideas for Uncorked.
I know, right? Where
We
the
need
higher
17 tiers.
we need 17 tiers, and the higher the tier you're subscribed to, the more, quote, divine documents and teachings that you could unlock.
And at the
and
highest
service
tier,
in the
I'll
daily
sell
life.
you your soul back.
Yeah, pretty much. Eventually, they changed the name from Temple to Day Life, allegedly at the demand of the Galactic Federation alien army that the leaders served.
Yeah, even the aliens know Temple is a horrible name.
Kimberly wore a pendulum that she claimed was a direct communication device from the Alien Council. The council called them to rally their pleasure soldiers to escape the pain matrix, which they would equate the pain matrix in the context of like what they said their value system was, which was like giving up your earthly possessions and being anti-racist. So they would associate like things like racism and capitalism to the pain matrix, which is like so frustrating because yes, racism and capitalism are evil systems that are ruining people's lives and cutting off people's access to success. And that's a real systematic thing that is happening. Don't make a cult, like an actual cult out of it. So to escape the pain matrix and save the world, followers had to hand over all of their material possessions, give their money to Koa and Wiesel, break from their communities, and serve the Galactic Federation.
Well, yeah.
Only 12 members gave enough to be promoted to the most devout stage, a high position of power within the cult.
What do they call it? The Gal Fed?
Yeah.
I just like their short term
The
for
G-Fed.
it. G-Fed.
The G-Fed. So for completing tasks required of these higher ups, like recruiting new members, it was basically an MLM. It was like, okay, to get to the next level, you have to recruit 5 people.
Yeah.
So that was part of it. They also would have to level up, they would have to perform sexual rituals like the masturbation cup situation.
Yeah.
And in exchange for completing these tasks, members would receive tomb credits that had
T-O-M-B?
I saw it spelled as T-U-M-E.
Oh my God.
It's probably in English. I mean,
Oh,
probably
God.
they named things from their English language. So members would receive tomb credits that had no financial value, but could be exchanged for favors and services within the community. So like having your laundry done or, whatever. Other members faced different abuses. Someone who went by Fu, a member of color, realized the group was not anti-racist when she saw that only white people were promoted to these positions of power. When she called this out, Koa and Wiesel accused her of destroying the group's integrity. Meanwhile, Fu, a transgender woman, had been promised help with her medical transition by the leaders of the group, who were like taking in all of this money and then saying, yeah, we're going to pour this back into our members. But she was consistently sabotaged throughout the process, where they would not allow her to like get to her doctor's appointments, access her hormone therapies, because they would withhold access to her car. They wouldn't give her access to her money. So she couldn't go to these appointments after they had promised that they were basically going to crowdsource among the group to pay for her transition.
That's so cruel.
It is cruel. She was fortunately able to quit the group without, it sounds like much backlash or retaliation from anybody. Meanwhile, the funds collected and promised by the leaders to be used to care for their devout community were being spent on lavish designer clothes and accessories. They, for a time, had access to a cabin in Washington. I don't know if they owned it or if it was like a family cabin where members could gather in person. And many of them would be living there because they were told to give up all of their earthly possessions. So like many of them became completely unhoused. And they were like staying in this cabin for a while, but then the leaders lost access to the cabin and ran out of money. And a lot of these members of the group just, like I said, became unhoused because they had given up their apartments, their cars, everything. And some of the members were high enough in status in the eye of leadership that they could sleep in the group's shared Toyota Corolla.
Oh, what an honor.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Under the guise of exploring sexuality, the leaders coerced Matthew, who identified as a straight man, into having sex with men. And he, at times, would be specifically pushed to have sex with black men to essentially prove to the leaders that he wasn't racist.
Oh, come on.
So with the group now fully out of money and Matthew in this, abusive, coercive control, now sexually exploitative relationship with the leaders, Kimberly coerced him into first paying for a sexual energy course that she charged him $2,000 for. And that basically groomed him and prepared him to prepared them to use Matthew for sex work and then demand that he give them all of the money that he got from sex work on the street.
Wild.
Yeah.
How much people get away with. Again.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Their attempts at essentially selling Matthew to high-profile clients didn't work, and he and other members were often left to scour dating apps while living on the street in hopes of finding clients so that they could provide enough money to them get housing from leadership. But not a single dollar that any of these folks that were practicing, engaging in sex work at the request of leadership, at the demand, the control of leadership, they gave every dollar over, but they never saw anything back. They were still unhoused. They were still basically clamoring to get enough tomb points to sleep in the Toyota Corolla that night. It was nuts.
Oh God, that makes that name even worse.
Mm-hmm. Matthew was also used to create recruitment propaganda videos for the cult to recruit more members. And while everybody was kind of expected to do that in that MLM style, he was targeted by leadership, I think, because he was just young and charismatic, and that they wanted him to churn out these propaganda and recruitment social media clips. They were able to
milk a lot out of that boy.
Yeah, it's rough.
So sad.
By late 2018, the spell began to break. Matthew escaped with the help of a potential client that he had met on Grindr, who he kind of opened up to this guy, and he allowed him to stay at his apartment in San Francisco in exchange for some housework, and even gave Matthew some money to help him get back on his feet. And he eventually returned to his family to begin the process of rebuilding his life.
Oh, good.
Yeah. Daylife was
angels on Grindr.
Yeah. Daylife was angry at his exit and harassed him repeatedly, mostly via email, because it's they can't actually legally do anything to him. So they were just digitally harassing him. So they were fucking with his social media accounts, DMing him incessantly, and then sending him all of these emails claiming that he owed the group over $20,000, which he ignored. And then other members saw that there wasn't much tangible retaliation from Daylife. And they saw that Matthew left and all they really did was yell at him for money that he never paid. Okay.
Via email.
Yeah, I'm gonna go. So a bunch of people followed his lead and realized that the leaders were driven by, quote, unchecked narcissism rather than a desire to help humanity.
Wow.
Today, ex-members are using social media, the very tool that recruited them, to warn other people about this group. One former follower started an Instagram account called Pain Matrix. I did put a screenshot of it on the drive. And it's to highlight the group's predatory tactics. And as they themselves were a victim of this cult, they post consistently about Daylife and the stuff that they endured and what they went through, so that people know what to recognize when they come across them. Because the Daylife Army's social media presence has very much faded in about 2019. But they do remain active in obscure corners of the internet. I don't think charges have been filed against anybody. They're still operational to some degree as just this sort of fringe niche corner of the internet. They still wear all white. They perform their rituals allegedly, and are still seeking soldiers. So all that to say, you do have to be careful about who you're engaging with online. And if people you're engaging with online, even, the ones because you want to seek like truly good and important education, are starting to like promise you utopia and like asking you to hand over all of your worldly possessions.
Yeah.
Like, the red flags are there. And that's very different from, people like myself who exist and pay to be in online spaces for like anti-racism education and other coaching from professionals who like, it's not the same fucking thing. So people calling everything a cult is damaging in that way. And I think that is important to name. And Day Life is a fucking cult that did a lot of real tangible harm to people, including sexual abuse and grooming. It's like, you do have to be careful about these like fringe internet spaces that offer you an answer for every problem under this, amalgous thing. This is the enemy now, and here's how we beat it. It's tough. You just got to be careful. Literally, if you're like losing all your friends, your family, you can't have pets. People are controlling what you eat. People are controlling every dime that comes in and out. They're controlling what you do, where you go. Like, that's a fucking cult.
Yeah.
It's just, and people are so impressionable. And like you said, it's like some of the most vulnerable. And one of the things that is so fucked up about the internet and like why we have MAGA now to where it is because of that like isolation, feeling like everything is against you energy.
And then everything really is against online. You.
But not for the reasons you think. Not because of black people and immigrants.
No.
I promise you that's not fucking why.
Nope. Your feelings are valid, but you gotta be a little bit more critical.
Yes.
About why it's valid, why it is happening, and why your paranoia often is justified.
That's what this Epstein. I've been spiraling all day about this fucking Epstein shit.
Dude, I know. Like, I don't know if this was a great topic to cover this week, or maybe the worst.
But like all of the threads of systems that desensitized us and made us look directly at the problem, but they framed it as a joke so that we would think would cast it off as a conspiracy.
Laugh about it.
It's like all of the systems at play to manipulate us on a fucking global scale, watching those systems crack before our very eyes in ways that I know as a privileged white person I had not seen before. I had only had glimpses of or read about. But this is a wild situation. Epstein touches like everything.
Including your beloved Princess Stephanie. Did you watch that video I sent you?
I'm not ready.
It's not blaming her at all. The person who made the video is like, and she was friends with Princess Stephanie. We're not talking shit about Princess Stephanie.
Okay. Because
truly, it's like all of these European royal families are like, ooh.
the Princess Diana theory, fully believe it.
What's the Princess Diana theory?
That she had discovered that Prince Andrew was in cahoots with Jeffrey Epstein, and they were worried that she was going to spill the beans about it and put a dark cloud on the royal family, and they had her killed.
It's about fucking time. The royal family.
There's been chatter about conspiracy around her death since it happened, but this makes perfect sense to me. I'm like, of course I believe that.
Mm-hmm.
The Jean Bonnet of it all, of course I believe that. Of course I believe that.
The Jean Bonnet of it all. Mm-hmm. Madeleine McCann.
Yep. It's wild.
Why wouldn't we believe it?
It's wild. Oh, I've got chills. I can't.
I gotta go. I need to go throw up.
Yep. Love y'all. This was great.
It's been a pleasure.
I have to go. Leah, thank you.
You may have broken us.
It wasn't you, Leah. It was not you, Leah. It was not you. It was not you. And we are not broken.
You.
We are not broken. We're just scared.
I'm cracked. I'm chipped.
We're chipped. But we're not leaking yet. We are still functional.
Well, one of us is leaking. One of us is about to start leaking.
Oh my God. I am actively leaking as we speak. Okay. Well, glad we clarified that. We love all of you. Thank you so much for listening. Please join us on Uncorked. Oh my God. I don't know. Bye-bye.
See you next week, probably.
Thanks for listening to Wine and Crime. Our cover art is by Danielle Sylvan. Music by Phil Young and Corey Wendell. Editing by Jonathan Camp. Our production manager is Andrea Gardner. For photos, sources, and other resources, head to wineandcrimepodcast.com. You can follow us on all the socials at Wine and Crime Pod. If you'd like to show your support and get access to all sorts of wine-fueled bonus content, check out our premium channel at wineandcrimepodcast.com/uncorked. Cheers!